by Donald P. Dick Aaron Solar, 54 years of Mr. Cool.
Also,
Good.
what's up, buddy?
Good.
Red Hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is yours.
Sweet. This is
Bullard
it?
Nation
That's
on
Nice.
your
Cool. Thanks,
feet.
man.
Yeah. We're getting better.
Do I touch anything? Oh, okay.
No, it's gotta be in B always.
Okay, so you're just always on?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you just talk when you wanna talking.
Sweet.
Nobody hear you.
Okay.
If
cool.
you don't have this down, people doesn't hear you.
Cool.
You know.
Sweet. Thank you so
Welcome
much.
to the field, your Bullard Knights!
Let's do it. Who is it?
Wearing the white hat. He's on the sideline.
Check, 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 check.
for the visiting number 4, team captain for tonight's home team, your Bullard Knights number 1, Tyler Franklin. Number 6,
After a couple trips out of town, we are back in Fresno and back in the CMAC. Tonight's matchup is the Bullard Knights against the Justin Garza Guardians on Les Schwab Tires Friday Night Rivals. Tonight's pregame show is sponsored by Donald P. Dick and Solar, 54 years of Mr. Cool. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for tonight's game. Ralph Wood along with Cam Orell. Cam, you've taken a look at the styles of both of these teams. Tell us about the matchup. What do you expect?
Yeah, Justin Garza, they run that RPO offense, so a lot of decision making on the quarterback. They're going to move quickly, a lot of short throws, let their weapons get out in space and operate. Bullard, they are a big play offense. They have a lot of weapons on the perimeter, so expect a lot of points tonight, Ralph.
That sounds fine. Let's take a look at the players to watch tonight, starting with Bullard, Tyler Franklin and Asher Armstrong.
Yeah, Tyler Franklin, big, long quarterback, orchestrates this offense very well, protects the football, finds those big play wide receivers on the perimeter. He's a very nice junior quarterback. Asher Armstrong, the leading tackler on this Bullard defense. He is the most physical player for Bullard. He's going to play a big role in slowing down that Justin Garza offense tonight.
All right, let's talk about the Guardians then. Lee Williams and Bowden Smith.
Yeah, Lee Williams is going to go both ways. He's going to carry it out of the backfield. He's a physical presence defensively. He's a big key to what they want to do on both sides of the ball. Bowden Smith replacing Caleb Matthews, who is out, the senior quarterback, out with injury. Bowden Smith has stepped in as a junior and has really functioned well running that RPO offense. A lot of decisions are on Bowden Smith's shoulders tonight.
Tonight's academic athlete of the game is sponsored by Donald P. Dick, Heating, Air, and Solar. 54 years of Mr. Cool. Let's hear from him right now.
Honestly, for me, I just try to really make a good schedule for myself. I like to hold myself accountable a lot. So even after right now, I come home from practice, it's already 6:30, 6:15, and I'm kind of already feeling unmotivated, but I kind of just try to stick to a routine schedule every day and just help me stay with it.
Once again, those guys trying to stick to a schedule, trying to get everything structured.
He's doing a nice job if he's walking around with a 4.8 grade point average.
Not bad at all. Hey, we're going to come back and kick this game off, so stay with us. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're watching Les Schwab Tires Friday Night Rivals. Welcome back, everyone. Tonight's kickoff weather provided by Fox 26 Chief Meteorologist Chris Kuiper and sponsored by Lee's Air Plumbing, Heating and Roofing, your local and trusted comfort experts. We haven't seen numbers like that in a while.
No.
About your keys to the game tonight, Cam.
Yeah, we got a little theme tonight, Ralph. If you're the Justin Garza Guardians, you got to be like Mike Tyson. It's going to be physical. They have to throw some punches, bide their time, hit the body a little bit, and then boom, when they get a chance, take advantage of those opportunities. Bullard's got to be like Shohei last night. Shohei leads the game off with a leadoff homer. The Dodgers don't look back. Bullard is big play. That offense is explosive. They got to hit Justin Garza over the top a couple times early.
Set the tone.
That's right.
All right, let's send it downstairs to the third member of our broadcast team, Kevin Miller. Kevin?
Up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's skydivers from a plane. What was your highest altitude tonight?
5,500 feet.
Whether at sea level or 5,500 feet, this is Friday night. Let's go! Skydivers, homecoming. This is where it's at. Let's go Knights. Let's go Knights. Well, Cam, back to you. Knights.
All right, thank you, Kevin. We're also joined by Don Smith. He's our official in the booth. Hopefully we don't have any controversies.
You never know.
Eric Ramirez set to kick it off for Garza and get this one underway. Kickoff is sponsored by Fresno First Bank. FFB is your football fanatical bank. They're ready.
Look, this is a
time to go.
I think this is a budding rivalry. I think both of these teams are going to compete in the CMAC every year. They're a little bit young this year. San Joaquin Memorial sitting atop the conference, but two quality football programs.
Tonight's first quarter is sponsored by BD&J Injury Lawyers. Make the right call.
Returned by number 17, Austin Ladd.
Nice starting field position for Bullard.
Yeah, short kick. Austin Ladd took advantage of it, made him pay.
Bullard has weapons. They have big play guys. They have speed. They have guys that can hurt you. The ball's in their hands. So Garza decides to not allow some of those weapons to get a return started, but very nice field position for the first possession of the night for the Bullard Knights.
Tyler Franklin at quarterback. He's wearing number 1. Von Laney came out in motion. Now Franklin scrambling, has some room and goes in a slide short of midfield.
Tyler Franklin, he's in good control of this offense. Whether he's throwing quick game, he's allowing some vertical game to develop, or when he gets pressure, he has the athleticism to get outside the pocket. Nice little pickup with the scramble on first down.
They run it on second down.
Bullard run 22.
Laney, the ball carrier.
Kevin Laney.
Not much there. Tonight's closed captioning sponsored by Sante Health. Sante
Run down by both
the
the
best
Guardians.
doctors, the best
Picked up
choice.
about 2 yards on the play.
Nice finish.
3 yards on the play.
To that time by Devin Laney. Looked like he was stopped for maybe a yard or 2 gain, but he pushes forward, picks up a couple extra yards. Now you're looking at 3rd and 3. This is, I would assume, 4th and short if they don't pick it up. This is 4 down territory, so would not surprise me at all to see Bullard run the football or run a little RPO zone read action with Franklin.
Franklin to throw has the completion and the first down. Thomas Dixon hauled it in, shoved out of bounds near the 40. 1st and 10, sponsored by Serrano's Furniture.
Just quick game that time. Franklin gets the snap, allows Dixon to set up right in front of the sticks, delivers an accurate football on time. Nice run after the catch by Dixon that time to pick up a few extra yards. Nice conversion on 3rd and short that time from Franklin.
Laney again, the ball carrier, breaks a tackle, breaks into the secondary. Going to have another very big game close to the 20-yard line. That'll be another 1st and 10, sponsored by Serrano's Furniture.
5'8", 190. That's a big running back there. Devin Lacey hits the hole hard, gets vertical quickly, and then fights for some extra yards to set up Bullard just outside the red zone.
Laney again, busting his way through defenders, breaking tackles, keeping the legs pumping, and picking up positive yardage.
Talked to my old teammate Joe Shai before the game. He's the offensive line coach for the Bullard Knights. If he could run it every down of a game, Joe Shai would want to run it every snap of a game, and we see that physical mentality right on this first possession from this Bullard offense.
Franklin looking. Now he's going to have to take off. Weaving his way through traffic inside the 10 and dropped it about the 9. Boy, great scramble by Franklin.
Yeah, he is so in control of this offense. He really understands what they're trying to do. He recognizes pressure. He has the athleticism to get out and get some yards with his legs. He's very composed all the time. He's not really rattled ever.
This time the throw to the end zone, or caught short in the end zone. That's Israel Castaneda on the receiving end. Right after this game, stay tuned for a special episode of TMZ that's coming up on the CW59.
Nice job that time. Bullard just running quick routes down here in the red zone, set up, allow Franklin to identify coverage and deliver an accurate ball. Nice job that time for a nice first down pickup. Franklin still has it, and he's going to try and run it into the end zone. He does. Touchdown, Bullard. What a drive from Bullard to start this football game. They get good field position, start off at their own 45-yard line. That early 3rd down conversion that kept them on the field, and then there was a couple of chunk runs from Devin Laney, and then Franklin delivering accurate footballs, getting outside the pocket when he feels pressure, and then that time just rolling to his right, finding a crease, getting into the end zone to open up the scoring tonight.
And the extra point is up and good. So with 8:52 to go, Bullard has struck quickly to take the lead 7-0. Timeout on the field. We will step aside. Be right back. You're watching Les Schwab Tires Friday Night Rivals. Another look at Franklin finding the end zone.
Nice coverage on the back end by Justin Garza, but Tyler Franklin, he's just so athletic. He's so smooth. Inside the 5-yard line, gets outside the pocket, nowhere to go with the ball. And let me just tuck it and score the first touchdown of the night. No big deal. Great drive to open this game from the Bullard Knights.
Antonio Gutierrez Montoya will kick off for the Knights.
44 is a legit kicker number. So you're wearing 44 as a kicker, you do some things right.
Kickoff sponsored by Fresno First Bank. FFB is your football fanatical bank.
you. That will be a touchback.
Send it down to Kevin now for a sideline report. Kevin.
So you can see the moon. It's kind of spooky, which means it's time for the Chris Stubner Show. Chris, how you doing?
Oh my God, Kevin, what a night. You finally get football weather, right?
You know it.
Got that
And
harvest moon.
You got it. And speaking of that kind of spooky vibe, we've got some things going on. Can we talk about the Frosty Frights?
Frosty Frights. Still, right now, kids' meals, you get your Frosty Fright toy in there, one of the collectibles. There's 11. So
this one's for you. I'm pocketing it for you this time. Okay, go ahead.
next, now we talked about kids. This is the Boo Bag that's all over social media
Boo Bag.
right now. Inside, you're going to get a Dave Single, Fry, a chocolate Frosty, and a bone chiller.
What's a bone
This is a glow-in-the-dark bone chiller. It's an adult collectible.
Oh, this is Cam's beverage.
Yes.
Choice. Not you.
And in there is also a Frosty coupon book. So $1 of the purchase of this will go to the Dave Thomas Foundation, and you're going to get 5 free Frosties.
Big recovery there by the Knights. And then we got the collab. We got
That's right.
Krabby Patty.
The Krabby Patty still on. We still have them through November 11th. You better get them because when they're gone, they're gone. We have, the Valley has come through for us. We have sold a lot of Krabby Patties.
And I appreciate you offering me the very first one in the Central Valley. That's fantastic. And I got another one tonight. And then finally, it's the fall weather, football weather, and we have, what do we got?
Family chili. You can only get it here in the Valley. We're the only ones that has the family chili container. So go to your restaurant, in your local Wendy's, get your family chili.
Family size, Ralph Cam. We're splitting this a third of the way. Chris Stubner Show. And then finally, what do we got for our veterans?
On November 11th, Wendy's is proudly going to be giving breakfast to our veterans as a way of saying thank you. Go into any of our Wendy's, let them know you're a veteran. If you're in uniform, if you're active duty, come on in, and you're going to get a free breakfast on Wendy's.
Appreciate your support of all of our service people. And that's the Chris Stubner Show, y'all. And Ralph and Cam, back to you. I'll save it some. Thanks, Chris. Much love. All right, back to you.
All right, thanks, Kevin. A lot happened. Had a turnover right there. The fumble recovered by the Knights at the 21-yard line. So they are right there, ready at the doorstep, leading 7-0. Chance for more.
Second snap of the night, Justin Garza tried to run a little wildcat. Couldn't handle the snap, and they turn it over in really, really good field position for the Bullard Knights.
So it's second down from the 11.
Second down and 14 for the Knights.
Franklin has Dixon again. Makes a nice move inside, eluding the first defender.
Franklin's pass complete to number 7, Ross Dixon. Down near the goal line.
Yeah,
So the Knights are in the Toyota red zone.
Yeah, just timing route, just setting up in front of the defender, quarters coverage, a little bit of space. Nice job by Dixon finding some space, and Franklin delivering that ball. But a third and short run right up the middle. Nowhere to go that time for Devin Laney.
Again, we're in the red zone sponsored by Toyota. Trying to get back into the end zone, but it's a fourth down, and they're bringing on the kicking team. Preston Clark, who was good on the extra point, will attempt a field goal.
Having a field goal attempt. Preston Clark. Castaneda with a hold.
This will be a 23-yard attempt. Kick is up. And it's good. So the turnover results in points. And Bullard extends the lead to 10-0.
Yeah, that's what you want to do as a defense, though. You get put in that sudden change situation. Your only goal is to keep the offense out of the end zone. Nice job by Justin Garza. Third and short, getting a tackle for loss, forcing Bullard to kick that field goal and keeping them out of the end zone. That's a win as a defense. You come on in a sudden change situation in the red area. You just got to try to keep them out of the end. We go back to Franklin. opening the scoring earlier tonight. No opportunity that time. They run it with Laney. A nice job by Justin Garza stepping up and not allowing that 3rd and short conversion. Forces the Guardians, or forces the Knights to kick a field goal.
Gutierrez Montoya to kick it off again. Kickoff is sponsored by Fresno First Bank. FFB is your football fanatical bank. High end over end kick taken inside the 10. Across the 20. Upended there. That's Jewel Jones on the return. Tonight's injury report is sponsored by Accelerated Urgent Care. Feel better, faster.
Let's see if Justin Garza's offense can settle in a little bit. Just two plays on that first possession. They fumbled the Wildcat snap on 2nd down. See if Bowden Smith can get this offense going a little bit.
The snap goes through his hands. He has to go back and cover it, and he doesn't cover it. It's picked up by the Knights again.
Wow.
I believe it's the same one, Jaden King, right?
Yeah, I think they're actually calling.
Yeah, they're not going to give a fumble.
Yeah, calling Bowden Smith down. Maybe he recovered the ball on the ground. You know,
no, you're not going to see it
you're
from that
down
angle.
in high school, yeah. So I think they called him down. Ooh,
Well, he didn't have possession of the ball when he went down.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure why he was given that football. He never possessed that ball when it was on the ground.
Let's ask Don Smith. You've seen a couple angles of that. What's the ruling?
False start. Defense.
Offside penalty against the Knights, 5-yard penalty.
Okay, but it's a break, certainly for Justin Garza.
The 2nd down and 17.
Now the Guardians try and run, and that loses yardage. So rough start so far for Garza.
Yeah, just haven't really even had a chance to settle in. Bullard gets the opening possession. They take it down and score. Fumbled snap on 2nd down. Fumbled snap on your 2nd possession on 1st down. Lucky just to retain possession. Now looking at, 3rd and 18. Backed up in your own territory. Not a down and distance that you want to make a mistake on.
Pass is away, complete over here on the near side. Here's our weekly financial wellness tip, sponsored by Premier Valley Bank, enriching lives one customer, employee, and community at a time.
Kevin Miller here with your Premier Valley Bank student financial tip. Be mindful of credit. Behaviors that lead to carrying monthly balances and spending more than you otherwise would with cash or a debit card can lead to more financial problems than if you avoided using credit altogether. This was brought to you by Premier Valley Bank, a division of HTLF Bank, a local bank you can depend on. HTLF Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Ralph Cam, back to you.
Well, quite a snap there, and he gets the kick away, and it's going to bounce out of bounds at around the 45-yard line, and that's where they will mark it.
Ooh, nice job that time. Jewel Jones just getting that ball off. That snap was in the air for a long time. Bullard almost got to that one before he was able to get that off. Again, good field position. Bullard starting at their own 45, just like they started the game off on the first possession that they took down and scored a touchdown on. So we'll see. Been very controlled from Bullard running the football. Some short, quick passing game. We'll see if they start to open it up a little bit, try and take advantage of some of the speed advantages they have on the perimeter.
Franklin looking, throwing to the far side. He has a receiver down there, and the catch is made. Dixon with another catch at the 25.
What a throw. 3 deep coverage, so Justin Garza has a post safety in the middle of the field. He's looking for a route just like this. but didn't quite get there in time. Brian Rosales playing the middle of the field, not able to get there. Franklin put the ball right on the money in a big chunk pickup on first down.
Now Franklin keeps it, and he gets dropped for a loss of 5. A trio of Guardians are in there to make the stop. Nathaniel Marquez is one of those, number 26.
Running RPO that time with the zone read action, so Franklin is reading the in man on the line of scrimmage. That time he should have given that ball to Lacey instead of keeping it. He kept it. He pulled that zone read look and got hit as soon as he pulled that football. Nice job defensively from Bullard getting in the backfield.
2nd and 15. Shondell Hogan with the catch. Picks up a little bit of the penalty yardage, but it'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and about 10.
Nice tackle that time from Amari Bogan in space. Hogan is very elusive with the ball in his hands. Nice job that time by Bogan, settling his feet, coming to balance, and making a tackle in space.
Franklin still dancing around, throwing it upfield, and that pass is, they're going to say it's caught.
Wow, did not look.
You're waving your hands the other way like it's an incompletion.
Did not look to me like Castaneda got his hands underneath that football before it hit the ground. We'll see on this replay. Franklin just kind of tossing it up, giving his receiver a chance. Yeah, that is not a catch.
Rattled around a bit in there, didn't it?
Went right through his hands, but
Bullard
taking advantage.
Right back at it and heading into the end zone again. Touchdown, Bullard. That time it's Shondell Hogan finishing it off.
And they are just moving this Justin Garza defensive line front 7 around. When they're running the football, they are getting push, creating creases for these very explosive running backs that Bullard has on this offense. Again, Bullard gets a possession at their own 45-yard line, a couple of chunk passes, and they're able to put another one in the end zone. Now up 17-0 in the first quarter, still in the first quarter.
Clark with the extra point, and it's been, boy, an easy first quarter so far for Bullard with some gifts.
It has. I mean, Justin Garza just hasn't really seemed to have gotten in rhythm. A couple of fumbled snap offensively, and here, I mean, this is just too easy. Look at that huge gap for Hogan to run through. I mean, another excellent job by Bullard. Their offensive line, coached by Joe Shy, just getting push in the run game, creating some creases for these running backs. They've really done a nice job tonight, not just running the football physically, but Franklin executing the passing game, whether it's quick game or taking a couple of vertical shots. They've been very, very effective and efficient with the ball in their hands tonight.
Guardians got to settle down.
You just need a couple of positive plays, a couple runs, a couple first downs, some easy throws, maybe some RPO stuff to make it easy on your quarterback. Just need to get the ball moving in the right direction.
The kickoff is sponsored by Fresno First Bank. FFB is your football fanatical bank. That kick taken back inside the 10 again, and running it out across the 20 is Amari Bogan. Still pushing the pile out across the 25. Close to the 30.
Nice job by Bogan. A little bit better, best starting field position of the night for the Guardians so far in their third possession. I mean, it's really just, let's just handle a snap. Let's execute our offense. Let's get the ball moving in the right direction.
Handoff coming to the near side. That's Bogan again. Amari Bogan, a senior.
And a weapon at the receiver position. You see that time, Wildcat snap again, running that jet sweep, getting the ball to Bogan quickly, letting him hit the edge and pick up a first down. Now let's just get things rolling, right? Let's operate this offense with the pace we want to operate it. Let's try to attack the line of scrimmage, which you know Justin Garza wants to do. Let's start executing some of our base offensive concepts.
It's a 1st and 10 sponsored by Serrano's Furniture. This time the handoff is to Lee Williams. Out around the 45-yard line. Tonight's Smile Can is sponsored by Toyota. Oh, look at those big smiles.
Yeah,
huh?
Cheerleader smiles are the best smiles. You know that they are ready to go. That's what Justin Garza wants to do right there. 1st down, pick up 8, just simple outside zone, getting the ball to Williams. Nice push on the offensive front, setting up a 2nd and short.
Pass intended for Pedro Vargas, incomplete. So it's 3rd and short, 3rd and about 2.
Those little plays, the easy outcut for a 1st down. You extend a drive. You don't have to convert on 3rd down. You drop the passing. Those are things that Justin Garza they've struggled with early in this football game. Just basic, fundamental execution.
Oh, big hit at the point of contact and still fighting for yards there. Elijah Maldonado.
Nice run. He got hit a couple yards before the sticks. I mean, right on the button. Kept his legs moving, broke through that tackle, and then dragged a couple of other defenders right here. I mean, that's a big physical hit. Yeah, he just ran right through and then was able to lean forward enough to pick up a 1st down.
1st 10 sponsored by Serrano's Furniture. Now the pass is short and incomplete.
Again, that's a kind of an extension of the run game on 1st down. We want to get Bowden Smith outside the pocket, give him an easy, just little stop route, pick up 5 or 6 yards, rushes the throw a little bit. The timing of the route versus where Smith was in his route, just a little bit off. Couldn't take advantage of a little bit of space on the perimeter.
And the quarterback's going to take it and take a huge hit as he gets up to the line. That was another direct snap play, and the ball is out again.
Wow.
And this time Bullard's going to recover near midfield.
Lee Williams took a shot. It looked like that was Fernando Avila, number 60, coming downhill and just delivering a hat right on the football. As soon as Williams turned upfield, just took a shot, was not able to hold on to the ball. Asher Armstrong in there as well, recovering that fumble. And this 1st quarter could not have gone worse for Justin Garza, but could not have gone better for the Bullard Knights.
The Knights are going to start this drive from the 49 of Garza. There's a player down on the field, and that is Lee Williams.
Took a shot. We know he goes both ways, so he runs the football, also plays at the linebacker position on defense. And
looks a little woozy as he's heading toward the bench.
Holding that right hand, which is where he was hanging on to that football. I think he took a helmet right on the hand, which is why that ball popped out. Man, there's not a lot of padding on the hand, Ralph. There's a lot of padding on other parts of the body. That hand, though, it's just nothing but skin and bones. So hopefully Lee Williams is okay. He's a big piece on both sides of the ball for what Justin Garza wants to do.
Please stay tuned for the Xfinity Halftime Show featuring an interview with the school's principals. So here go the Knights again. Franklin, pass is complete. That's a new receiver now. Tyron Tree, who's really very popular receiver for the Knights, finally getting into the action. I say finally, we're still in the first quarter.
Right. They've been spreading it around. We talked about just the bevy of weapons they have at their disposal. It's so difficult to key in on anybody because they have so many weapons. One of their better weapons not even playing today, Davian Potts, is out tonight, and they don't miss a beat. That time, first possession near the end of the first quarter.
Pass on 2nd and 1 is complete, and he's still with the ball and still running. Oh, let's see what happened with the football. As the horn sounds to end the quarter, it's Israel Castaneda ends up with the football. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. He made the catch, broke the tackle. Well, might have been down there.
No, I don't think his knee touched. He was able to keep that knee off the turf. Slipped a little bit, but then he picked up a bunch of extra yards. I think the ball came out, but yeah, it looked like Castaneda was down. That'll be Bullard football. What a run from Castaneda.
And the Knights will begin the second quarter, knocking on the door. 4 more, already leading 17-0. You're watching Les Schwab Tires Friday Night Rivals.
Bank Student Financial Tip. Learn the basics of budgeting.
All right, Booth, tell Don Smith I'll be better next time.
Welcome back, everybody. 17-0. Bullard with the lead as we enter the second quarter. And the Knights are threatening to add to that lead.
Yeah, this has gotten out of hand quickly, Ralph, and that's what happens when you turn the football over, when you give short fields to an opponent, when you can't sustain drives. It's just really, really difficult to keep a game competitive when you're given extra possessions. So far, Bullard has taken full advantage of short fields, of turnovers. They're knocking on the door of the red zone once again.
Tonight's second quarter sponsored by Bonner Lacefield Marine, serving the Central Valley since 1939. Laney in the backfield alongside Franklin at quarterback. Laney gets the handoff. Trying the left side. Finds some room. Down the sideline. Blasted as it gets inside the 10. That'll be another 1st and 10 sponsored by Serrano's Furniture. Inside the Toyota red zone. We've got another injured player on the field for Garza.
Yeah, not really a lot going on. Just simple outside zone. Bullard again getting so much push from that offensive line, making it easy for their big backs to get some space and get vertical. Devin Laney again, man, once he gets going, he is a load to bring down. 1st and goal again for the Guardians.
Johnny Gardner is the player who was shaken up. He had gotten to his feet, but now he went back down again. He was in that mix-up with everybody trying to track him down. Tonight's Salute to Troops is sponsored by Central Distributing. Taking a timeout while they attend the injured player. A big thank you to this year's trophy sponsor, Ace Trophy in Clovis, for all your custom award design needs.
Yeah, Justin Garza just can't really lose many more players. They're down Caleb Matthews, their starting quarterback. That affects him right off the bat. I've seen a couple of players go down so far tonight. Hopefully Johnny Gardner can get back on the football field. Big, long cornerback. Does not look too great limping off the field right now.
It's going to be 1st down and goal for the Knights. Ball at the 8-yard line.
So the Knights come out of the delay and have it first down at the 8-yard line. Laney wrapped up and then thrown back. In on that stop originally.
Bullard run number 22, Kevin Laney.
I don't have a number 6 on my roster.
Yeah, not sure who that is. It's an unknown.
He's been in on a couple of plays.
That is
I know
number
that.
6. Yeah, but he's not.
We need to find out who that guy is.
Not on the roster. Yeah, nice stop in the backfield though. Penetration from the linebacker spot, right in the B gap. Nowhere to go for them.
Franklin looking. And he's going to dump it off. Incomplete. Third down.
Yeah, nice coverage. I mean, that's what a tackle for loss on first down just puts an offense behind the sticks. Now you're looking at third and goal from the 10-yard line. So it's kind of all or nothing for Bullard. You know, you take a shot into the end zone. Franklin has been effective getting outside the pocket, extending plays, using his legs to pick up positive yardage. 10 yards is a big ask, though, for your quarterback in scramble mode. 3 receivers up top.
Franklin going to throw. Looking, can't find anybody open, so now he rolls away. Doubles back to the near side, still looking. He's going to unload to the end zone. Back corner incomplete. Off the fingertips of Tree, the intended receiver. It'll be fourth down.
Ooh, that was close. I like that from Franklin, though. Put it in the place that only his receiver could come down with it. I think led Pre just a touch too far out of the back of the end zone. Not sure even if he secures that one, if he gets a foot down inbounds. But I like it. It's 3rd and 10. I try to let my receiver make a play. I'm not at risk of turning the football over. All I can do is score a touchdown, or I bring my kicker back on the field and we kick another field goal. Nice execution on 3rd down from Franklin.
Preston Clark to attempt the field goal. A good-looking kicker. Splits the uprights with that one. And the points keep building up for Bullard. The Knights are at least making the most of every opportunity that they've had to put some points on the board.
That's true. Every time they've touched it, they've been able to put points on the board. And a nice stop from Garza. I know, you're down 20-0. You've given up a couple touchdowns, a couple field goals, but that was another sudden change opportunity for the Bullard Knight offense, and they had 1st and goal right around the 5-yard line. Garza holds strong again. They get a tackle for loss on 1st down, then a couple of incomplete passes. So you're down 20-0. You have turned it over a couple of times tonight. It has led directly to points, but a couple of possessions, could be much different. Right? It could be 28-0. Could be a different score. But Garza's done a nice job holding Bullard out of the end zone a couple times tonight.
This kickoff is sponsored by Fresno First Bank. FFB is your football fanatical bank.
Now they just need to get something going offensively. We're able to move the sticks last time before they turned it over again. Like they got a little bit of a rhythm, running outside zone, getting some space for Williams. Just have to continue to execute.
Boy, they're taking them out and they're thinking they can break them, but they're not having a lot of luck.
No,
that was Dixon on the hit and Bogan on the return.
Yeah, Bogan just, 4 or
But you
5
maybe
unblocked.
make that first guy miss.
Yeah, unblocked guys coming down. Not really sure what to do with the football. It's tough sledding if you're a kick returner and you see a bunch of opposing jerseys coming down at you without a lot of space. Again, poor starting field position for Garza once again.
The Guardians start on the 15. Down by 20. Bogan, the ball carrier. Short gain out across the 16. Maybe a gain of a yard.
Cover 2 that time from Bullard, so you would think that there'd be an opportunity in the run game. But Nice penetration right off the edge that time from Mario Cosio. Getting a hit on the running back for just a 1-yard gain.
Nobody open and nowhere to go. Dropped is Smith.
Yeah, tried to go quick game. Nobody open that time.
Jaden King's had a busy night around finding loose footballs. Of what should have been 2 fumbles,
Yeah.
we thought.
Yeah, Bowden Smith that time, nowhere to go. Everybody covered, tried to scramble. Nice pursuit from that Bullard defense. And 3rd and 9, man, you got to get something going if you're Justin Garza offensively.
Comes pressure. Jump pass on a screen. Elijah Maldonado, the receiver, gang tackled over in the sideline right in front of his own bench.
Yeah, I think they picked it up. And that was a nice call on 3rd down. Bullard sent pressure that time. Both inside linebackers coming on a pressure, and Justin Garza calling a screen on 3rd and long. Very nice call with just really one missed block, or Williams is running with a ton of space. Nice job fighting and picking up that 1st down. Oh.
And the play works again. Now they've picked up 2 straight 1st downs. Another 1st and 10 sponsored by Serrano's Furniture.
Yeah, Samir Mohammed just snagged that one, and he was vertical quickly. Biggest play of the night from this Justin Garza offense. Nice run. Again, if they can just settle in, get some push. They have a couple of backs that can really do a lot of work in the run game.
Pass to the perimeter. Looked like it was a backward pass. Didn't end up getting much. Let's go down to Kevin for a sideline report. Kevin?
It's our first homecoming of the year on Friday Night Rivals, and this theme is board games. But there was nothing boring about the skits before the game that the students performed. And, of course, we've got the classes and the representative. What's your name and what class do you represent?
My name's Isabel Gallo. I'm the class of 2028, which is the freshmen.
Right, and what was your board game?
The board game was Jumanji.
Hey, very cool. And what's your name and what class?
My name's Audrina Garcia, sophomore, class of 27. Our theme was Monopoly.
Monopoly. And then who do we have here?
My name is Carrie Samus, and I'm from the junior class. And our board game was Clue.
Uh-huh. And then seniors, yeah. What are your names and what was your board game?
My name's Gali Barra. My name is Cooper Freeney. And then our board game was the Game of Life.
The Game of Life. They just revealed the champion. It was close by 10 points. Separating 2nd and 3rd was just 1 point. And the winners go to, of course, the seniors. Seniors. Sophomores 2nd. Juniors 3rd. Freshmen, you got 4th place. Congratulations, Bullard Knights. Homecoming. Hoko. Ralph Cam. Back to you. That was a great skit.
Thank you, Kevin.
We got illegal blindside block, offense. Replay 2nd down.
Big play called back by the penalty. The run was by Jalen Travis.
Yeah, illegal blindside play. You didn't need it. Travis was in open space. One of the receivers downfield came back towards the line of scrimmage, towards the football. You can't do that in high school football. I mean, that's a huge penalty.
Trying to screen again. The blockers, though, really not much there. Not much yardage for Bogan.
Bogan's playing tough, man. Running tough with the football in his hands.
Didn't have to get much, so he got enough. Let's see what they do with the sticks over the 1st down. Another 1st down sponsored by Serrano's Furniture.
Another screen just taking a little bit too long to develop. Smith a little late delivering the football. If he can throw that on time, leading his receiver, I think the screen timing between blocking and receiver would be much better.
This is Lee Williams down to the 45. Here's our weekly financial wellness tip sponsored by Premier Valley Bank, enriching lives one customer, employee, and community at a time.
Hey, Kevin Miller here with your Premier Valley Bank student financial tip. Educate yourself. Learn about personal finance so you can make informed decisions about your money. This is brought to you by Premier Valley Bank, a division of HTLF Bank, a local bank you can depend on. HTLF Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Ralph, Cam, back to you.
Pass downfield, incomplete, overthrown.
Yeah, just an inaccurate football that time from Smith. Had some space on that post route. Looked like he had an open receiver, but just couldn't deliver an accurate ball. Now looks like they're back in a Wildcat situation. Williams taking a direct snap where they have had a little bit of trouble just securing the snap so far tonight. Here, 3rd and 7, probably 4-down territory for Garza, down 20-0 in the second quarter.
Williams tried to find a crack, but there was really no place to go. Picked up maybe a yard.
Yeah, nice job just running quarterback power. Bullard doing a really nice job of getting penetration, not giving Williams a crease, allowing him to get vertical. 4th and 6, offense got to stay on the football field. You just have to get something going. This has been a nice drive. Starting at their own 15, Garza's put it into Bullard territory. Now you got to keep this drive going. Try to get some points before this first half is up.
Smith dumps it off over to the far side. Catch is made by Pedro Vargas, and it's going to be enough for a first down. 1st and 10, sponsored by Serrano's Furniture.
Nice job that time. Bullard sends pressure off of Smith's right. He's scrambling, leaves the pocket to his left, knows that he has Vargas sitting just past the sticks. Nice throw on the move to his left, across his body, but putting one on the money to keep this Garza offense on the football field.
Pass to the near side is complete, but no protection, no blocking for Isaiah Hernandez. Saw 3 or 4 light blue jerseys converge on him as soon as he caught the ball. Did pick up, though, 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, that's a nice first down pickup. You know, low RPO with the slant, a timing route, delivered on time. No run after the catch, but you know, second and 5 is ahead of the sticks, exactly where this Justin Garza offense wants to be.
Stay tuned for the Xfinity Halftime Show featuring an interview with the school's principals. Muhammad, the ball carrier.
Ashton Ladd, the second time tonight that he has flown down from his safety position and gotten a nice hit on the running back. Last time it was Williams who shrugged him off a little bit, where he was able to pick up a couple extra yards to move the sticks. That time, no yards after contact.
Ladd listed at 5'8", 140, but don't mess with him, right?
Just a bullet coming downhill from that safety spot.
Timeout called. Be taken by Bullard.
Timeout on the field. Timeout, Bullard.
Timeout on the field. We will take one as well. 3:56 remaining here in the second quarter. It's 20-0. Bullard with the lead. You're watching Les Schwab Tires Friday Night Rivals. Welcome back, everybody. Justin Garza trying to get something going, get some continuity, get some success. And so far, the Guardians have been able to move it down the field on this drive.
Yeah, big third down right here, but you're right. Finally got some run game going, getting some push up front, and then Smith really kind of settling down, making some throws on the run. It would be really, really big for Garza to put some points on the board before halftime.
Smith hands it off, and there's nothing there. Bullard is there defensively.
Austin Ladd again coming down from that safety spot. When he's the unblocked player, when he's the extra guy in the run game, he's able to diagnose where that ball is going, and he gets downhill in a hurry that time, coming from 8 or 9 yards deep, making a tackle on the back for no gain, setting up a big 4th down and 5 right here for Justin Garza.
For the Guardians.
Smith on the option with the pitch. And Maldonado is stopped just as he got to the 30 and pushed back. Boy, Bullard's defense.
Yeah, speed option that time. It looked like Smith was going to be able to pick that one up on his own, but he pitches it. And great inside-out pursuit that time, coming downhill from Donald Turner, just tracking the running back. He was the running back player, tracked him from inside out. As soon as he got that pitch, he was able to get a hat on the football and not allow any yards after contact. What a big 4th down stop. And here we go, Bullard, 3 minutes, 10 seconds left. 2 timeouts, plenty of time for them to try to put another score on the board.
Well, defensively, the Knights are really converging on the football. This time, Garza does the same thing with a defensive stop on Laney.
Oh, yeah, Bullard is flying around defensively. I mean, those 2 safeties are coming downhill. Austin Ladd and Donald Turner coming downhill with some bad intentions. Really physical presences in the run game. That's on a huge 4th down stop in space.
Timeout on the field, official timeout.
Well, the officials have taken a timeout. Player down, just being helped up. That's Aiden Robinson Ardondo.
Yeah, jogging off the field, went down. Not sure what he had going on, but grimacing walking off the field. Nice stop on 1st down. 2nd and 10. We'll see if Bullard starts executing some quick game. I mean, they still have plenty of time to run the football. They can execute their whole offense, but you want to get something started right here back in your own territory.
Franklin looking. Now he's rushed and will be dropped as the pressure got to him.
Yeah, just a 3-man route that time, trying to take a vertical shot. Nowhere to go with the football, and really nowhere for Franklin to go with the football either. Nice job by that Justin Garza pass rush of closing the pocket, getting that inside or outside in pursuit, not allowing Franklin to escape, which he's done a couple of times tonight, and getting a couple guys to the football to bring him down in the backfield.
So it's a 3rd and 15 for Bullard. Franklin. Pass is incomplete. It was intended for Pre, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, just a little bit behind Pre that time. That helps out Garza. Clock stops, 56 seconds left. Justin Garza has all 3 timeouts. So again, should get the ball in relatively good field position around midfield. 1:56 left. Plenty of time with 3 timeouts to try and go down and put some points on the board before this first half is over. Nice stop. You get stopped on 4th down, you have to turn the ball back over to Bullard, but nice job by Justin Garza defensively. Big sack on 2nd down and then getting off the field on 3rd down.
Jewel Jones back deep to return the punt. High short kick, but he takes a great Bullard bounce inside the 40 down to about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, really nice Bullard roll on that punt. Landed just over the 50-yard line, but takes a nice roll, giving Justin Garza the ball at the 36-yard line. 1:43 left, 3 timeouts. Clock stops to set the sticks after a first down conversion. Get out of bounds and stop the clock. So plenty of time for Justin Garza. They can still run the ball. They've had some success running it tonight with Muhammad and Lee Williams. See what their approach is. Screen game the last couple possessions has been effective too, especially when Bullard sends extra pressure.
Pass to the far side is complete, but no running room after the catch.
He actually ran into his own player that time. Jewel Jones caught that one. Nice ball by Smith. Hit his receiver in stride. He was able to run with the football, but ran into his own offensive lineman looking for a block. Just a 1-yard pickup.
2nd and 9. Swing pass to this side. Maldonado. 40, run out of bounds as he gets across the 40.
Nice job by Smith that time. Finding that swing route, that outlet. Kind of check down. And
now a Bullard player is down.
Nice.
Let's take another look at the play.
Nice job by Maldonado. He knew he had to get out of bounds. Wasn't going to pick up a first down. Didn't want to waste any additional time. Got as much yardage as he could on that swing pass. Set up a 3rd and 4 for this Garza offense.
Stay tuned during the 4th quarter. Tonight we will reveal our player of the game. It's like an issue with the hand.
There's a couple of hand injuries tonight. Not good. Williams is back in the game, though. He was okay after that fumble. He just took a shot right on the hand. Yeah, that's when you see Fresno State has a defensive lineman that plays with no gloves on his hands. I don't know how you do that in the trenches. That's nasty. That's nasty business in there. You need as much protection as you can get.
There's some of those on the Bullard side on homecoming. This is homecoming for the Knights.
Nice crowd
tonight.
On the Bullard side. They showed out tonight.
3rd down and 4 now for the Guardians.
Quick game. Move the sticks. Keep your offense on the field.
On 3rd down, another jump pass. It's complete. Maldonado has some room to run down the sideline. Inside the 30, run out of bounds short of the 25. So that'll stop the clock with 1 minute to go. And it's a 1st and 10 sponsored by Serrano's Furniture.
Really nice call that time. They've executed the screen game very nicely tonight. Smith hopping to make that throw. But look at all the blockers out in front of Maldonado. Way down the football field. Totally caught Bullard off guard again. Sending an extra guy in pressure. Nice job of that offensive line getting downfield, picking up some blocks for Maldonado, and a nice job by Maldonado getting out of bounds and stopping that clock with a minute left.
From the 27. Looking, passing, dropped. That was a good